What is up, everybody? How's everybody's weekend going? Um, Pretty exhausted myself, but I'm gonna pull up the chat real quick. Let me get these graphics up. Today's live stream is the last in the series that is presented by FastStat. Again, just want to remind you, always have the option of, getting your customer by, especially me doing restaurants. It's hard to rip out wire and deal with that mess when they're open during normal hours, and dealing with the food service industry in general. So if you guys did know, FastStat is a basically an HVAC wiring extender. If you guys need a common, any extra wires, anything of that nature where you're just short on wiring, you can put one of those in. There's a sender receiver that communicate through existing wiring. So if you need two stage, you steal one and it can do both. If you need a common, it can steal a wire and give you that common and still give you what you need, um, that you took from it. But it all works together. Where are my comments? There we go. It works together, and it's just an option. I like to have one on the van just in case, and it's all up to you. So thank you to FastStat. Uh, there we go. Now I can see the chat. What is up, everybody? Let's go to my member section. If you guys are interested in becoming a YouTube channel member, well, yeah, now I can see the chat. You get access to videos ahead of time. I have a bunch that I need to kind of upload and just have up ready to go, because after that whole situation where I lost that hard drive, I kind of like put that on pause so I can get everything set up. We're good to go now, so I can start uploading again. And I want to thank the channel members: Gary Carnell, D Tolls, Mark Morales, B1062, Dalwin Hooks, True Results, HTX, Brian, Chevy Runner 88, Metal Rage Freak, Lost But One, Vlazer, Phil Hall, and Mark Harris. I appreciate you guys. I've seen some of you over on the tech channel as well. Got another one that I just kind of edited. I gotta get that up, and I gotta get like 2 other videos on that channel as well. And that channel is gonna start posting again weekly. So stay tuned for that. And if you haven't yet, and if you are in, I don't know, I like to nerd out about HVAC and about like electronics and cameras and stuff. So if you guys are the same way, I have a second YouTube channel, The Reliable Tech for Creators, where I try to explain everything that I do. I'm going to explain also the Milwaukee trip that I did for Milwaukee Tools. That was a really cool experience. Went out there to be basically a creator, like to make content, right? So that was always fun. Why can't I resize? Okay. That's always fun. It was cool to see other people. We all had, you know, all the camera gear, all the same kind of equipment and stuff. So it was cool to be out there with other creators, because everybody understands what you're doing. So if you guys are interested, I got that channel as well. Now I'm gonna go look at the chat. Uh, what is up, everybody? Victor, Brian, Mike B. I think you got a 3-day weekend. Maybe some of you other guys do as well. I'm working tomorrow. I got some weird issues to deal with, humidity issues, and I just want to go back and follow up on a couple of calls and make sure we don't have any of those give us any issues later in the week, because I kind of want to get to all my calls and maintenance, and I want to get everything squared away on Monday. That's wishful thinking, but that's what I want to do tomorrow, is fix that or figure out that this humidity problem, and then after that go do the follow-ups, check on things, and it's just, because I want to make sure I can close these tickets out and not get any complaints or any callbacks, issues like that. What's up, Jason? How's everybody doing? I saw this comment. Why is it? There we go. I saw this comment earlier. You guys were in here early. That it's my cover photo. It's that Lennox unit. That is the one that I had to rewire. And if you pay attention to it, I don't remember if I took the picture before or after I fixed it, but I guess they were having issues with the board, and you're gonna see a lot of wire nuts spread around, and those compressors were icing over. I know one time I got called out, and I had to figure out, we had a bad board, or what do you call those, like sub boards? So it's one big motherboard, and then you got like two, I think it's two little ones like connected to it. One of those was bad, and they couldn't get it, figure it out, something like that, and they started cutting and putting wire nuts. I got in there and I didn't know what the hell I was looking at because I had never worked on a Linux before. That was a whole bunch of tracing wires, and that was, that was a fun time basically. And what I had to trace it, read the schematic. It drained me a lot. Like it took a lot out of me to kind of figure that out. And what they had done basically was somehow bypassed the compressors. And yeah, they were all MO99 as well. Um, they had bypassed Y1, Y2, Y3, that, or maybe not Y3, but like all the compressors were bypassed, but the blower was still running off the thermostat. So when it would satisfy, the blower would turn off and the compressors would still run. So had to, figure that out, put it back together and wire it the way it should, get the board that they needed, put it in, button it up, and it worked after that, thank God. Oh, same here. 61, perfect for sleeping. Linux aren't that bad. Don't mind them. I don't mind them, but my first time going up to one and it's completely ripped apart with wire nuts was not a good experience. After that, because they had four in total on that rooftop. After that, yeah, I'm cool with it. I figured it out, and we're good to go. And they all had issues. That is the one that had a graveyard of compressors. So as soon as we got up there, there was like 4 or 5 compressors right by the roof hatch. All of them slapped with that MO99 sticker, which I hear was pretty good as a drop in because I think that's the one that you didn't have to change the oil. So I never got to use it. We had 427 at the time. We've been using 407C now, and I think I'm gonna replace one of the last R22 systems we have. Finally, I finally got like the okay. We just haven't gotten it worked out yet, ordered or anything. And that is we're gonna go with Heatcraft, and that is one of those center mounted walk-in cooler evaporators. What's up, Dave? How are you? Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Like I can choose to stay home, but and I just had this discussion like if I want to take a day, I can take a day, as long as there's nothing crazy, you know, the phone going ringing off the hook or anything like that. But like, what am I doing on my day off? I'm doing, which reminds me, I haven't caught up on my paperwork. But what am I doing on my day off? I'm doing paperwork. I'm doing errands. I have yet to go pick up our new uniforms, although I'm not happy with with the result. I tried to change the shirts, and he blamed it on one of his. He said someone on his team printed them, and they didn't realize that there was a color issue. So I don't like the way they came out, but he's gonna give me a discount on the next ones, which I mean we'll see if we use him on the next ones because I've been hit up by some other people that supposedly have high quality stuff. Because locally, they still have to order our uniforms because we don't typically get like stock stuff. I like to get navy blue. We've been going polyester for everything, and we've been going now long sleeves or hooded long sleeves, which is it's nothing new. I've seen Brunt do it. I've seen Milwaukee do it, right? So I wanted to get our own version. And all this stuff has to be ordered, so it still takes a couple weeks to get it printed, and I might try somebody that hit me up that has some pretty good stuff, and maybe they would be able to print. I think he gives me the option, or he was giving me the option of different screen printing, where the guy that I use, he's been great. We've been using him for years. We'll still use him for things, but he had to change his screen printing. I forgot what it's called now. It's at DF something transfer, and you get more detail, but the colors are off. But yeah, if I'm not working, I'm running errands for the team. I'm doing paperwork. I'm going to the post office. I'm doing other stuff, and it's hard to balance. And then having essentially two jobs now because I do this content stuff, which I'm taking more serious this year. Which reminds me, I'm trying out this little scroll ticker on the bottom. Obviously Q&A, so leave any questions in the chat. We'll get to it. Um, Also, I just had a little hangout with Ben Poole, which we don't talk about a whole lot of work stuff or content. We talk about family, right? We just caught up. But that reminded me, I wanted to shout out his website. If you guys didn't know, there's an award show. Me and Mike were just talking about AHR. I can't wait to get out to Vegas. It's going to be a good time. Can't wait to go to the awards show. I've already got, some insights on how epic it'll be. It gets better every year. And if you guys haven't yet, go nominate. I'm not what do you call that? I'm not I don't want to be nominated. I want you guys to nominate somebody that hasn't won. Somebody maybe with a red beard. It'd be nice to get another night up there, but if you guys haven't yet, go to hvactactical.com, go to their nomination section, their award section for nominations, and you can nominate any YouTuber, Instagrammer, podcaster, anybody realistically, because they're looking for people that because they have a hidden gem award, but they're looking for people that are not, it's not always going to be Chris Stevens or Craig Migliaccio. Like they're looking for other guys. So nominate somebody and they'll look into it. That's one thing I do know. They'll look at all the submissions and they'll go look them up, go talk to them, and kind of work that out. Our summer just started. We got our summer late. It's like 105 here. But I am doing PMs. August is a PM month, and we have until the end of September, which is gonna creep up real quick. You're in Texas? How the hell are you having 40s? It's the evening. It's already dark out. It's 90 degrees here. Where the hell is it 40? And we have those hot nights already. We had them before, but we had a break with the I don't want to say hurricane weather. I think that's barely coming. With the random rain that we got, the thunderstorms, we had some better days and nights, but it's back to all heat. We're not sure yet. Those I don't think we've done any actually because we don't win the bids. We but we're supposed to get this one. I don't think they've had any IntelliGen at this customer yet. other guys have gone in to install like mechanical equipment, Heatcraft, the same ones though, just not the intelligent one. But I mean, I would quote them that. 60s in your house, okay. I don't think so. It's something. It's some sort of transfer that he named. There's a name for it. Uh, it feels like a very thin print, and it has to have like a background. So there is a white undertone to it, which that's what happened this time. Is he left the white undertone because there was a gradient, and I was trying to tell him I didn't. I would rather you take off the gradient because we've done this before, and this time it just wasn't. I wasn't made aware of it. He didn't catch it. He said someone else printed it, but typically for like, especially to keep costs down, right? It's always like that one. Like I said, there's a white undertone to have a background to print the color, and I like to use blue and orange, and I have gradients, and I have a lot of detail in the logos. I told him you should have just taken off the gradient, which we'd done before. That way there was no ugly white background, but that's how they're printed. That's what they're gonna look like. I haven't picked them up yet. He just sent me a picture. My guy does sublimation that basically melts the logo on the fabric. I like the. I want to get a press and just try and do some of that stuff myself. Ham- Handometer 75 miles per hour chill. Yeah, we could talk. I don't know if it's an old timer thing. I think it's just an HVAC thing. Cause I didn't think about the weather like this until I started doing HVAC, and now because that's another thing. Like we talked earlier, Mike, about things that you check for, uh, and we've talked during this chat and some others, like checking your superheat and knowing what your saturation temperature is and understanding what those things are, but also oh okay, the vinyl transfer. But it's all like understanding saturation temperatures and the pressure temperature relation. That's all you. A lot of things you have to understand. And what was my point? um, oh, as an HVAC tech, I've been thinking also about ambient temperature a lot because you go work on a walk-in box or even like an AC unit and you're checking your discharge, your liquid line, and there was always that rule of thumb, right? It's like 20-25 over ambient. So I would always like check what the weather was or what the weather was going to be, the hottest time of the day, all that kind of stuff is more of an HVAC thing now. Cooler weather, welcome after summer. You got that right. Can't wait. We still have hot weather. And it's like our summer came late, which wasn't too bad. The summer wasn't too bad. A lot of 90s, a lot of like 100 right there at the border. 100-degree, high 90s, and made it for a much simpler summer, I would say. It wasn't super hectic. We still had a lot of work, but it wasn't as hectic as before. We were able to kind of pace ourselves. Still had those random emergency calls and all that kind of stuff, but There was a was it last year or the year before where it just felt horrible the whole summer. It was like always 110, 115. That was horrible. 70 is a sweat box. Yeah, I get it. It was 80 in northern Oklahoma, going to be 80 or below for the next couple weeks. That's nice. We had a dip. We are supposed to get a dip and we didn't. 99 today, 96 tomorrow, and these are all like it's usually hotter than this with the heat index. 99, 96, 90, 95, 98, 96, and then finally 92 to 88 to 85, but that's in a week and a half. And that's if we get that. What is up, Nasty? Oh, you weren't here for my explanation on the compressor then. You'll have to rewind. Yeah, I when I've been working on the rooftop all summer, it's nice to get those reaching coolers and simple walk-in boxes. You know, where you're working inside most of the time, you work in a freezer, a walk-in freezer or something. That's nice. It's a nice change up. And that's why we like refrigeration, because if you're just strictly an AC tech, you're either outside by the condenser or you're inside in the attic. I could be in a walk-in cooler, I could be in a walk-in freezer, could be in the kitchen underneath a unit. You never know. Yeah. We went to when we went to Milwaukee, it was like 70, 68. I had to get my jacket. It was cold. Global cooling with natural recovery. I hope that's R290 you're working with. Well, yeah, I know. I think we need hats. So he offered a discount. So we'll see what he does. We go through hats like crazy. So if we get a discount on the hats, I guess. And we still have another truck wrap to do. We just haven't had time to drop it off. Let me go through the chat real quick. God, I feel like it's been a long weekend as well, but not in a good way. All right, guys, in the chat. Man, what was I gonna bring up? So we have a lot of maintenance. I have to do So that one customer I do have for maintenance right now, all they have are center mounted evaporators. So we're having to they have hinges, and we bring them. You're supposed to swing it down. You have to make sure the line has a cut or give her or Jesus, get he gave her the people's elbow. You have to undo it, swing it down in the hinges, and that's how you get to the motors. I just had a video on replacing a motor for that. But that's also how you have to clean them because they get gunked up inside. So we have been doing that. It's just a pain to get all that stuff out of the way and make sure we get that down. You got to have a ladder in there. I like to use a ladder to prop it up so it doesn't completely swing down. I've had those things, those hinges. I've had them on the walk-ins on the center mount where you're bringing down the whole panel on the bottom with the motors, and I've had it snap on me before. So now I always hold it up with a ladder or use that as a support for that uh for that panel so that doesn't happen, and it makes it much easier. Just this should be the chat that we have on Thursday, not today. um so we've been doing a lot of maintenance, a lot of cleaning. I've had to deal with some of that, and I've been using those T9 thermostats as well. And that's kind of what I've had good luck with. We just did another building where they needed sensors. The original, I think it was Johnson Control sensors were acting up. I don't have I don't have the passcode to Johnson Controls as far as I know, unless you guys know anything. These are Aeon units, and they have these Johnson Control thermostats, and they have all the auxiliaries hooked up, everything that it needs to communicate, and then it has its own remote wired sensor. I can't do anything. I can't change anything. I can't go into it because it has a passcode. From what I understand, from what I looked up really quick, I think it's a passcode that is set by somebody. I don't think there's a default passcode unless anybody knows a Johnson Control thermostat. If there is a default passcode, I couldn't find one. So we ripped it out, put in a Honeywell T9, put the sensor, haven't heard back. Which is like no news is good news. Because that one, the sensor was so out of whack that it would either stay on for a really long time or it would stay off for a really long time. And they had a lot of humidity issues. So, well, I got some videos coming soon. Um, so they were complaining about a lot of humidity issues, but then he said it's either really hot or really cold and it feels ugly and wet. And I was like, all right, let's go check it out. Had other issues first, but then we got to the thermostat, and I went with my psychrometers, checked around the building, and it is a weird layout. If you guys know the restaurants that I work at, because I try not to say too much, but like the restaurants that I work at, this particular one has remodeled, and they have this really stupid. I want to say it's like a chandelier display in the middle with their big logo and a big ring around that's all lit up, and it takes up the entire middle section, and like it's huge. It's a big display, and it acts like a chandelier, like a light type of thing. And in this one location, because they're starting to make the new buildings, because they just built two of them in the past couple years, extremely tiny. So these buildings are getting smaller, and they're still putting that big display in there. It has all their name, their logo, everything on it. And that's new. That's with the remodels and with the new buildings. And on this location, it takes up almost the entire dining room to where all the vents have to be around it, which is basically all around like the three walls in the dining room. There's vents all along the windows, the door, and everything. So there's no vents in the middle, which I don't know if that's better or worse. Yeah. So this building is super small and all the vents are like out, and the sensor was towards the middle and by the counter. So I checked everywhere. Cold spots for sure, but like it was running damn near into the 60s and that thing said 75 or whatever. So I was like, yeah, we got to change it out. I wasn't going to bother. I just put in a new thermostat T9 wireless sensor. And like I said, they haven't complained anymore, and they are quick to complain because we went by and they were, when are you gonna fix it? When are you gonna fix it? And we did that, and it's been good now. I just think that display is really stupid. I don't know why they're so gung ho about it and stubborn to put it in all of them, and they don't change the size to the building because the new buildings are way too small for it. But I only have one location that has Aeon, and I'll probably get those videos out really soon. But I got to it, and I'm like, I think the same thing. Why do we have this for a small restaurant? So yeah, I know, Mike. I know. But we have maintenance with them, so that's something that we'll probably check once a year or something. Um, I don't like the Aeon units for restaurants. I think they're good for when you need a lot of humidity control, a lot of little extra things that come with it, like HVAC doctor is the one that works on them a lot, and he works on a lot of places that deal are like indoor pools and things like that. So I love work. I just think they're over engineered as well for a restaurant because I'll just say right now I dumbed it down. I took out a few things or disconnected a few things, put in that Honeywell, and it's been working better now. You still got a Kmart? Only maintenance, and they are all 40-year-old Aeons. Man, we used to have a Kmart by our house, like literally across the street. And that's all my childhood was at freaking Kmart. I got lost in Kmart too. My dad, um, I don't know how I got away from him. And then they had to call him up on the intercom or whatever it's called. You know, the father of whatever year old, if you could please come to the front. And I was there like I got lost. So a lot of fun memories at Kmart and the Little Caesars that was always in there. That was one of the perks of Spirit Halloween. They tore down the ones here already. Spirit Halloween is like in these old furniture stores here. But at Kmart they had a Little Caesars in there. Later, Jason. They had a Little Caesars in there, and that was the only spot you can get one of those huge um, slices of pizza. They didn't sell it at their normal restaurants, but if you went to Kmart, you can get that big slice of pizza, and that was always what I looked forward to. Oh, yeah, the fulfillment for Amazon. We have Amazon coming here, and I don't know where they're going to be at exactly. Our old Kmart got it kind of got renovated. It got like gutted, and now it's what is it called? Is it called Murdoch's? and Burlington is what it turned into. And the other one, because we had two, the other one turned into, I think, a Big Lots, and I don't know if that stayed open or not. Yeah, the Halloween stores here are taking over all the furniture stores. We don't have a lot of furniture stores anymore. Cons closed down. There's been a few others that closed down, and that's where you're going to see the Halloween stores. So then you guys do the maintenance for that building. Is it just somebody that owns it that rents it out now? If you guys are hired to work there or do maintenance? Because like if Kmart's not there anymore, somebody owns it and they're hiring you guys to do maintenance on it, I guess. Because I've seen some abandoned buildings here, and the rooftops are not. They're not hiring. They're not having anybody take care of them. The rooftops, you see panels off the AC units, especially in those Sears. We had a Sears keeps coming back and then keeps closing down. Like we had a appliance store that opened up years ago, and then like it closed down again after Sears had like already, I don't know, closed and everything. Um, okay, yeah, because I've seen a lot of abandoned buildings here that sometimes get rented out, and I can see their rooftops, and like I said, all the units are like they look horrible. Panels off. You can see that they're some of them are like lopsided. Is that what happened? I didn't keep up with that. Sears buys Kmart. Oh, okay. Sears own most of their retail sites. They leave them till they are sold. I don't know. I don't know who. I don't know who bought who. There was a every year this time putting lipstick on a pig. That's what I mean. I'm surprised. I mean, I'm sure they don't want to put money into it. Those are some weird situations because we see a lot of places that are like that. They're abandoned, and I'm always curious as to what their plan is. Yeah, they never have funds for maintenance or service, and then whoever uses that building is like, take it as is. What's up, Rudy? I don't know if I shouted you out. Yeah, you mentioned the wireless sensor. Plenty of future calls just for the batteries. We've had those calls before. I ended up doing wired sensors because we had room to do it. On this one, it's gonna be too much to run wires on two locations. So the first one is the one I have to go back tomorrow because now they're getting like some condensation. So I need to see what's going on. And that's a whole other thing because they don't have a makeup air system. We might have to figure out something for that. And Pretty sure it has to do with the exhaust and makeup. So I'm gonna go check that out tomorrow. But we put wireless sensors there, and it has been working fine. That just would have been a weird one because the the thermostat for the back is not a big deal because that office where they have the thermostats is close enough to the back area. I still put a sensor for that one just in case. So they have two T9s and two wireless sensors. So that one, it's like, just in case we can put it back to the thermostat if we need to. I just wanted to have a better, I wanted to have it closer to the return. Now the front AC, which I need to go back and label them. I forgot to label them. The front AC is, so the back part is all drop ceiling. So if you go in the kitchen, there's a drop ceiling, there's tiles, so you can that one we could have probably tried to run a sensor. I just didn't. I wanted them to be the same brand, same setup and everything. The front is open. It has spiral duct, it has exposed duct. So that ceiling is all the way up to the roof. Because you can see the unit, or when you're looking down, you can see inside from the rooftop. Like it's right there. There's nothing enclosed, no drop ceiling, nothing anywhere. So running, because I think our senior tech wanted to do this, but like running a sensor, it was going to be out exposed, and that wire, I mean, he can mount it or whatever to the walls, but like you were still going to see wiring, especially with the way it's painted and stuff. It just wasn't going to look good. So that's why we went with a wireless sensor there, because it was all exposed. I had nowhere to run it to, unless we got creative, but it was going to be exposed for the most part. So I didn't want to do that. I was like, let's just do a wireless sensor. We don't have to deal with the wire or running it that long, because what they had originally done for that thermostat was I was looking for the sensor. I was like, I don't see the damn sensor. It was one of those I think Red Link or one of those Honeywell Pro thermostats that has a remote sensor wired. I was like, I know it's here somewhere. I can't find it. And then I found it, and it was next to the oven. So it wasn't in the lobby that it was supposed to control. It was in the kitchen, and then you had another thermostat that was for the kitchen. So they couldn't even put it out in the lobby or figure out a way. So I was like, let's just do wireless. That way we don't have to deal with it. So I know we're going to get calls for it, but we do have a maintenance contract where we are there now every 6 months. And that's going to be one of the things that we'll just have to check, or maybe we change it out, change out batteries once a year, figure out something. I'm not sure how long they last either, but that was the issue there. The other one, um, they really wanted it done already. So I was like, wireless is going to be the quickest. So that's why we did it on the other location. What's up, Victor? Yeah, I mean, placement is a big deal, because I'm always whenever I install one, because all the old layouts have the thermostats in the room that they're controlling, right? And a lot of restaurants have been like that. Not until, when they started remodeling, or you see newer places, right, take over, or they get a spot in a strip mall or something like that. That's when they started doing sensors. So now I deal with sensors a lot more now. Where before, if it was a lobby, the thermostat was in the lobby, and maybe they had a lock on it or something. Or if it was in the back room, it was in the back room. If there was like several, then you would walk down, see one thermostat, walk a little further, see another thermostat. That's how they usually were. But now everybody wants them in the office, and they want to run them, and they want sensors, or you're supposed to have sensors. I have some that don't even have sensors, and I'm like, all those three thermostats that you have here are all reading the same thing and they're all controlling the same temp. You don't have, one for the dining because nobody ran a sensor. So that's always an issue. And even if they do put them, they put them in the wrong location where I've seen, I've seen the no sensor more times than not, which is weird. But when they do run a sensor, yeah, they it's supposed to be for the dining, but it's in the kitchen, or it's supposed to be for a certain section and it's in a different. So we've dealt with that a lot, and that was a big thing that I had to do for a while, was just reinstalling sensors because nobody put them right. And whenever I put in or offer that solution, I'm it bothers me. I gotta put it in the perfect spot. I always gotta find the perfect spot that's away from the supply vents, that is by the return, and it's in an area that should make it feel comfortable. So I'm always there for a while trying to figure out where to put it. All right, later, Brian. But yeah, putting them in the right location, keeping it away from excessive heat or a vent that will. I've had guys try to do that work for us, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't put it by the vent, just to make the customer think that it satisfies and that it's cooling when it's not, because you can feel it. And same thing with walk-in. I've had to reroute the capillary sensors. So when we have walk-in boxes and they do the thermostat with the capillary, they always put them in the weird spot too. Or I've seen them put them where the air blows out so that it can just satisfy or something. I don't know. So we've had to move those a lot too. Oh, do the average? I don't think I've had to do two, but if it needs to, I think I considered it for the one that I'm going tomorrow, where it was, I don't know, it was just where we put the sensor. It was kind of high because it had to be, but I know I've done it at other places where we do the thermostat might be close by, but it's not in an ideal location. Like there was one for a back room, and I wanted it further into the hallway, but I also needed to control the back room. So we did an average of the two. I ran a sensor to the hallway, and then the thermostat's in the room that it's controlling. So we did an average of the two, because those vents ran to the front, or to that area, to that hallway, and some of the front or middle. I guess it would be back and middle. And it was just a big area, and it would always turn off. So they would complain that like it was really cold in the back and not in the front. So we kind of air balanced a little bit, and then we did an average of the two just to cover that whole area. Use the stat in the office and put a sensor in the kitchen for a decent average. Yeah, that, what do you call it? That scenario is a good one because that was going to be my thing, is like usually the offices are in the kitchen. So if you want to do that and get an average of the office, it's just an open office usually, or like a little area. The office and the kitchen, you can do an average. Oh, it's football season, right? We had our first. We have a university, and I don't know the details because I don't watch football. But our university finally got a football team, and it was like a big deal. They were scalping tickets. There was fake tickets. There was everything. It was crazy. Everybody was like super excited for it, and it's the university that I went to, but then I switched over to smaller college because they offered HVAC. The university didn't. So graduated from the other college here. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this one. I think already. I'll pull up the outro right now. Appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Gonna try and keep it short. Sometimes I go a little too long. If you guys have any questions, just, let me know. um, I got some videos to upload this week. Hopefully get more videos out soon. And also for the tech channel, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Reliable Tech for Creators is the other YouTube channel that I have. Gotta walk 10 miles. R290 pressures like R22 or 130 for a Continental, or more like 134. Anybody know I took a screenshot, but I don't know where I would have it, of a running system with R290, but I'm gonna have to look for it. I've only worked on like 2 of those. I don't know if anybody knows the pressure. I mean, I could look up a PT chart, but let me see if I have PT chart. I'm trying to see what it runs at though. I know I have it somewhere. This is R290. Well, here's your answer. I'll pull up the picture next time. R290 is very close to 134, which is going to be a very low pressure refrigerant. So I worked on one. I had to replace the compressor and I left the taps on. Oh, tech support told you that too. I left the taps on and I checked pressures when it ran. And I took a screenshot just for like future reference. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like I'm always going to weigh that one in. Okay. It's very close to 134. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, hanging out on Sunday. Hope you guys have a good work week. I'm working tomorrow. I don't know if you guys are too. If you're not, enjoy your 3-day weekend, enjoy your Labor Day, and I'm out. See you guys.